Greetings, this is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin, and I'm once again speaking to you from inside of the arid greenhouse at the Strasbourg Botanic Garden. And look at these pebbles. How about that? You expect pebbles in dry desert areas, right? But wait a minute. These are not pebbles. These are in fact plants. They're in the plant family Isoaceae, lithops, living stones as they're called, and they have evolved in the deserts of South Africa. And their adaptations, one of their adaptations is they store up water in a fleshy stem, and they do not produce, at least most of the year, they do not produce leaves. And so they carry out their photosynthesis through the stems. But there's another adaptation for which this plant is justifiably famous, and that is, according to some people anyway, that it mimics the pebbles that it grows among. That if you have an animal that's looking for something to eat, that animal might not be able to find leaves on cactuses and lithops and spurges, all different kinds of succulent plants, but spines will keep them away. But these plants don't have spines. Instead, they imitate the rocks that are around them so that the animal can walk right past them without even knowing that there's anything here that they could eat. There's water, there's nutrients inside those fleshy leaves, I think that's what those are, but the animal would not necessarily know it. And this has happened more than once. There are other species. For instance, here is one that's another species of lithops or living stone. And there are yet others as well. But this is an example of convergent evolution. And it's also an example of what we would call mimicry, that plants can mimic other organisms or they can mimic rocks and thereby gain an evolutionary advantage. This is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and amen.